Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have been watching my videos previously, you would have known that I have been covering the topic of World War II extensively throughout my videos. In the last World War II video, I covered the Allied invasion of Italy and the repelling of the Germans from the Soviet Union. So today I will be continuing that by talking about the first half of 1944 during World War II, where several major events happened that would go on and alter the course of the war. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share my videos or my channel if you enjoy my content. So I will continue to grow and make more videos. Let us begin. In January 1944, the Soviet Union broke the siege of Leningrad by launching several major offensives in and surrounding the city. However, the siege had already lasted for over 2 years and 4 months, resulting in over 4 million casualties. Obviously, that is an extremely high number. And it is only surpassed or rivaled by the siege of Stalingrad, which had ended a few months ago in 1943. 1 to 3 million of these casualties were deaths. The destruction of the city was immense during this time, and the battle would go down as one of the most destructive sieges of all time. After this, the Soviets were halted in Estonia by the German armed forces and Estonian forces hoping for the country's independence from the USSR. So even during World War II, they've already began to wish for independence. And so they allied themselves with Germany, and some of them hoped that if Germany won, they would get independence. Then, throughout spring 1944, the Soviets pushed through and slowly weakened German forces. In April and May, the Red Army successfully expelled Axis forces from Crimea, the peninsula south of Ukraine. Then expelled them from most of Ukraine and attempted to enter Romania but were halted by Axis forces. Interestingly, these failed attempts to enter Romania, which were called the First Jassy-Kishinev Offensive, is extremely rarely mentioned and is most likely one of the many forgotten battles of World War II that the Soviet had deliberately ignored. They wanted to hide some of their major failures during the war, of course, and then this offensive would be overshadowed by successful offensives later on. And most Western scholars agree that there is an extremely long list of battles that are like these, forgotten in history, but they did happen. In early June 1944, the Allies successfully captured Rome after nearly 5 months of fighting in the Battle of Anzio. So, if you remembered, Italy was divided into two after the Allied invasion, and the north was occupied by the Nazis, and the south was occupied by the Allies. They fought for around 5 to 6 months in the Battle of Anzio, and they finally managed to take over Rome in June of 1944. Meanwhile, in Asia, the Allies had mixed successes. This means that even though they gained territory and they had strategic victories, they also lost several battles and some territory to the Japanese. Japan launched operations and besieged the Allies at Imphal and Kohima in British India. In May, the Allies launched a counteroffensive that drove Japanese forces back to Burma from India. The city of Myitkyina was captured by the Allies from Japan. Myitkyina is a big city in Myanmar and it is still in existence today. However, Japan would commence Operation Ichigo, a massive invasion of mainland China around the same time. In this second invasion, which was the second invasion of the Chinese mainland, Japan aimed to capture Allied airfields, destroy Allied and Chinese armed forces, and make a path to French Indochina. So basically, after the first invasion, which had already failed and reset, they began the second invasion and they had several goals, like I said. The Japanese would succeed in this operation, capturing much territory and securing all of its goals. So they successfully created a path to French Indochina, and they captured plenty of Allied air bases and destroyed them, as well as capturing several major cities and provinces including Changsha and Hebei. However, by June, a large and important event of the war was underway in Europe. I will not tell you what this major event is, even though all of you most likely know. If you remember this, please try and comment on what you think the event I'm talking about is. So that would be it for today's military content. I will now talk about Universe Sandbox itself. As you can see, I have made the sun around 640,000 times larger than what it actually is, and made it extremely hot, around 22,800 degrees Celsius, and its radius is around 4/10 or 2/5 of the way to Earth. Now, as you can see, the side that is facing the sun, which is the Americas, have been obliterated violently. As you can see, temperatures are around 4,600 to 700, and it is extremely rapidly increasing. I will now continue to make it larger. I have now absorbed Venus. This will drastically make the flight of Earth into the sun quicker. It is now nearly the size of Betelgeuse, but it is extremely high in mass. I will double the temperature, and the temperature of Earth is increasing extremely rapidly. It is now around 25 to 26,000 degrees in North America, and that number is increasing as I speak. As you can see, the entire solar system is in disarray, except for several other distant planets whose temperatures have not increased just yet. I will now speed up the simulation a bit, and as you can see, even Eris is increasing in temperature slowly but surely, as well as Sedna. It looks like Earth has been absorbed. Phobos is now flying towards the sun extremely rapidly at around 2/10 of light speed. If I speed this up even faster, all of the inner planets, and there goes Jupiter and its moons. Let me make this a bit larger. Great, it is now a black hole. So as you can see, once its mass is extremely large, it will immediately turn into a black hole, because once it gets past a certain density, it will turn into a black hole. It will collapse on itself. And here is something quite interesting as well. Around 3 to 4 to 5 billion years from now, our galaxy, the Milky Way, will collide with the Andromeda galaxy, which is a neighboring galaxy to us. They will collide and they will merge in a chaotic event. All of its stars and planets and nebulas and asteroids and anything in both of these systems will be violently thrown into each other, perhaps, but that's less likely than just them being moved a lot and circling each other. And afterwards, both systems will combine into what scientists call Milkomeda, or Andro-way. So this is, of course, very far away from now, and it will most likely be very interesting to experience if there is any life left to experience it. It is highly unlikely, according to estimates, as most life will die out several 100 million to 1 to 2 billion years from now, due to changes in Earth's atmosphere and changes in the sun's size. But this is what Universe Sandbox expects it to look like when those two galaxies collide. You can see there is a big blob of, these are all stars of various sizes, and of course they will be moving around, but it looks like it is a bit static right now. But this is what it will look like, a very large galaxy with around 1 trillion stars in total, because both of our galaxies have around 400 to 500 billion stars each. That is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share as my channel continues to grow with your help. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.